Yeah, good. Now here they are. These guys are working in the middle of the travel industry. So talking about DEI, we're going to listen to them carefully, but we're going to do something else. I'm going to turn you in the course of this session from an audience into a bunch of participants. Because isn't it crazy that we have all these experts here and we don't make use of your knowledge? So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and these people on the stage are going to answer these questions and going to comment on what you say about them. Now, first introduction, Edgar. Just a soundbite. What is your position? What is your perspective? Where do you work?
What is my position?
Yeah.
I'm the CEO at Queer Destinations.
Good. Doing what?
We're trying and doing it properly till the moment to attract the LGBTQ+ traveler to companies, helping governments, helping organizations, and helping the tourism industry and the whole value chain to attract the LGBTQ traveler to their companies or destinations.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Your head is cut off, the light is cutting off your head. If you go just a millimeter in front, then it's slightly better, yeah.
Better?
Yeah, perfect. Carlotta, what is your perspective? Where do you operate?
I'm the head of sustainability and climate change in HBX Group. For the people that don't know HBX Group, we are a B2B company. We are in the middle of the ecosystem of the travel sector. That is a privileged view in terms of sustainability because we have the opportunity to collaborate and to push sustainability initiatives. And like you know, the collaboration now is key for go ahead and to create a more sustainable travel sector.
What is your product? What is your product in the
It's a little bit intangible because we are in the middle. We are connecting different actors from the travel sector. For example, we connect hotels with experience, with tour operators. Also, we collaborate a lot with the DMOs. And that is our biggest business.
Good. Yep. Zina, what about you? What is your perspective? From what angle do you look at the travel industry?
Is this working?
I hope so, yeah.
Is this working? Yeah.
Is it? Yeah? Okay, good.
I'm here representing a company called Intrepid Travel. It's the world leader in small group adventures. We take travelers on small groups all around the world to immerse themselves in destinations and learn the local culture, eat the local food, and travel with local guides.
Okay.
I run the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region for Intrepid, which is made of destinations that go from Iceland to South Africa and from Morocco to Turkey, so it's quite diverse, talking about today's topic. And I think the main thing that make this very relevant for us is the core customer for us is women. 65% of our travelers are solo female travelers, which is probably the fastest growing trend in the travel industry that we're experiencing at the moment, so it's a good one for us.
Well, can you shed a light on your cultural background?
Sure, I'm originally from Morocco.
Yeah.
Lived.
And how about you, Carlotta?
I'm from Spain, but actually I'm living in Italy.
You live in Italy and you're from Spain, but live in Barcelona?
Yeah, I'm from Barcelona.
Secretly Catalonian or not? Are you?
Don't put me in this compromise.
Okay, Edgar, what's your let's say, national culture background?
Yeah, I'm half Dutch and half Spanish, and my mom and dad met in Paris, so it's a good combination to be here today.
We have Europe here, right? Yeah. I'll speak Dutch to Edgar in the preparations. He speaks a bit Flemish. So you were educated in Flanders?
No, I lived in Belgium for 12 years.
Okay. I can hear that. That is interesting. Wow. Okay, now back to the abbreviation. These 3 letters representing 3 words: diversity, equity, and inclusion. Pooh. Now, what does it exactly mean, those 3 words together? I did my Google search, and there came up a definition that's pretty simple. Let me read it to you, because then we're on the same page, all of us, right? It says, DEI is an organizational framework that seeks to promote the fair treatment and full participation of all people. So fair participation, all, are the key words here. Now, Zina, if that is the definition that we're using in our session today, you from a North African standpoint, is it dead or alive there?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Dead or alive? I don't think
Why do you say ooh?
Well...
Is it difficult?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Is it tricky?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's understood.
Okay.
I don't think it's understood as an opportunity and as a problem as well. I think we understand very well in the private sector, I mean, some of us do, at least here in this panel, that diversity makes business sense. And, you know, I think it's 30% of businesses that invest in D&I that are actually more profitable, and we see it firsthand because we are a business that's a, you know, certified B Corp, where diversity matter, both internally, externally, in terms of what we do with our own people and what we do with our own customers. And it's making us a better business. We record double-digit growth for the past 5 years. Except the pandemic, obviously.
You're doing good.
Oh, we're doing really, really well, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, North African background, if we just look purely at the stats, so we can even extend that to the Middle East, but the latest UNWTO report in the Middle East showed that only 8% of the industry is made of women, for example, while globally women make 54% of the travel industry as workers, and they're not yet there in terms of higher end position, but still they make 54%, and that is to compare with 39% of any other industry. So yeah, when you see 8% is what women makes in the, you know, as a workforce of the Middle East, it seems that it hasn't really started, to answer your questions.
Okay, okay. And in your view, in North African companies, is it dead or alive?
Oh, it definitely hasn't started. I just don't think that it's a topic that really matters or is understood. Just for the context, because I've held different positions at Intrepid. At some stage, I was the general manager of Intrepid in Morocco, and I was a female, under 30 years old. I can tell you that it didn't really look like normal. So a lot of my team were male, and I would travel to contract suppliers with them, and they would think they were my bosses. So it was always something to do for me to explain that I was actually the person making decisions. But in a way, we as a business went from a tiny team of 9 people to a team of 200 staff that is now delivering, it's actually the biggest destination for Intrepid worldwide. It's Morocco. And what made us successful is actually all these initiatives that we've made in the purpose space. We attract better talent, we attract more customers because we represent our audience, we make decisions that make sense for them, and yeah, we're just more successful. So again, I don't think it's understood, and it's taking a bit longer maybe than other places in the world for things to move forward.
Thank you, thank you. Now, Carlotta and Edgar, you both related to Spain. Carlotta being a Spanish national, Edgar living in Barcelona. Now, if you look at each other in the eye and you say, is Spain doing the extra mile like they do in sustainability? Is it? Edgar?
Well, I think Spain is is being a world example at the moment. I think they are really leading in diversity, equity, and inclusion. I hope we keep this way because the world is changing. But at the moment, I think we are, with a lot of difference, leading the European scene in DEI. For sure, not in every capacity of DEI, but they are doing their best. I think they are progressing, and it's all the governments in Spain are aligned for this, I think. Okay.
Yeah. And Italy, Carlotta, you live there.
Now I have the comparison for sure. Spain is one step more in this in all the social policies in general, and also I think my reflection here sometimes is the government can push. And is pushing in some countries, more in Europe, no? In terms of sustainability with the new European law CSRD, in social politicals, and also intends to move forward independent of other continents are doing, no? But finally, I think it's also responsibility of the society in general to move forward in terms of inclusion. And also we need to take that like our own responsibility, no? And in line with the opinion of my colleague about the companies, I need to say that I think all the companies are thinking in DEI, but it's now under the carpet. And that is a very Spanish expression, but means that I think are happening.
I think we understand the expression, right? Putting things under the carpet.
I hope
Okay,
so.
Good.
In my sector, it's inside a closet.
I think it's now we have a lot of noise in our companies for geopolitical problems because we want to introduce artificial intelligence or we want to run a lot in terms of technology. But I think the majority of here in these rooms is thinking their own strategies, corporate strategies. For sure, one of the topics is the personalization of the services. And the personalization is very linked with the inclusion and with the diversity because you are thinking to create services to different kind of people, no? But I think it's more that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, you see the title of this session on the screen. It's a question. Now, why not ask you what your answer on this question is? And then ask the panel to comment on what they see you vote. I'm going to ask you a couple of really tricky questions. And since this is an at least closed session, speak out. Show us what you think, what is actually happening in the DEI space here. Now, first question, and guys pay attention, see who's doing what here and what the figures are. Who of you, and raise your hand, who of you works in an organization that values diversity, equity, and inclusion? All right. Daniela, also, if you have your phone, please raise your hand. Are you working for an organization that values diversity, equity, and inclusion? Are you yes or no? Are you working there? Yeah, I'm asking you, yeah. Yeah. Can you raise your hand just? Say, is it yes? It's a yes. So what is the conclusion? Most of them say yes, right? Yeah, okay, now next question. The first question was, if you value it. Now, second question is, who of you works for an organization that has an active DEI framework in place today, October 2025? Who's got an active framework in place? All right, okay, thank you. Now, who of you works for an organization that changed their approach of DEI after President Trump's executive order of January 2025? Who did that? No change. Okay, that's pretty rare. I'll give you a couple of examples of organizations that did that. Now, next question, I've got two more, is embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion as a set of values in the travel industry dead or alive? Is it dead? Raise your hand, please. Is it alive? Raise your hand, please. It's a bit like Heisenberg's cat. It's dead and alive at the same time. As long as you don't talk about it, it could be both. So, is DEI as an organizational framework in your organization dead or alive? Is it dead? Raise your hand. Is it alive? Raise your hand, please. Okay. Now, I said it is rare because in the report of April 11th, Forbes magazine named a couple of companies, you might know them, that changed their programs drastically. Among them are IBM, Goldman Sachs, Victoria's Secret, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, etc., etc. The Smithsonian Institute changed it, the FBI changed it, Google changed it, Amazon changed it, all drastically. Now that is why we ask the question, is it dead or is it temporary dead? In Europe, the Hungarian government has taken steps not particularly in favor of the gay community. Russia's never been very inclusive, and yesterday, the Dutch election, one of the biggest parties is openly xenophobic. So that is the background why we ask, is it dead or alive? Now, what is your comment, Edgar, looking at the hands going up and down?
I didn't see so many hands, to be honest. I was expecting a bit more, but okay, you have to talk to us when we finish the session. So I think for sure it's alive. I have no doubt about it. I worked with a lot of companies based in countries that he just mentioned that were supposed to go behind. And I have the feeling they are doing efforts to not make too much noise and to continue to collaborate with us, but without the impact that it was doing before. So it's a pity because it seems like we are going back to inside of the closet because big companies, like he mentioned, went silent, and if you're silent, you're accomplice. So I always say, if you keep your mouth shut, you're not helping. You're just going with the wind and with everyone around. But I think we made some clever decisions. Some companies said, like, guys, we don't want to work with you now because of the US effect. And we said, okay, bye-bye, we don't need you. But we will also say it publicly. You don't want us, we will publish it too. And then they say, no, hold on. I think once you become an inclusive company and you want to be, you want to give an example as a DEI without doing pinkwashing, which is our case most of the times. Every company comes for Pride Months, they bring the flags out, they want all the pink money because then we are we are the most interesting people that you can have. During that month, the rest of the year, they forget you. They don't do anything internally for their workers. They don't do anything externally for the people they want to get, except during that month. So I think it's a way of giving the opportunity to change as a company. Whoever came to join us, they always said the impact is huge. Inside of the company, not only because they have much more LGBTQ plus travelers, but also because they saw a change in their properties. And I'm speaking about hotels and tour operators and DMCs that said, thanks to having much more LGBTQ plus travelers, I'm having also another kind of straight travelers coming to my company that are cool, are willing to be in the 21st century, are willing to be with the millennials, with the Gen Z, and don't want to be back in the past years of everything what we passed. So I think it's a good example. Also, to give an example of what we did with Hotel Beds. Hotel Beds said, you guys, Carlotta can explain it better, but they said, we don't want to do only the certification program with you guys because we want to show to the world that we as a company are inclusive. Said, no, we will ask all our providers worldwide to take this seriously, and if they want to work with us and with queer destinations, we want them to become partners with you guys. So they are actively, it's not only doing marketing, they are actively pushing people, tours, activities, DMCs, hotels, whoever, to change their mind, understand better how the LGBTQ plus community works, thanks to education, because this is what we do. And they are being, for me, an amazing example. It's a coincidence that we are on the same table, but we signed this 10 days ago. But it's something that is a real world example, and that I hope many more companies like with this magnitude give an example to the rest of the world. The same with some US companies. But
Okay. Carlotta, what is the reason that your company signed this agreement?
Because in general, our company we have 98 nationalities. We have a high percentage of women, more than men in the company. Also, we're at a travel tech company. In the travel sector is normal, but in the tech, no it is. And the inclusion is inside our values in general, no? And when queer destination come to us and explain me the model, I'm very noisy always with the certifications and the trainee pieces, because finally if you want to solve something, you need to train the people for solve these things, no? They need to be in the same boat than you. And when Queer Destination come to us and they explain the model, and I saw for them it's important that the company also take this certification seriously, I say, okay, it's completely aligned with my thoughts in sustainability, no? Because finally the people that works in sustainability, the majority, I think the 98%, is because the values are aligned with sustainability. But the people that, like me, who are in a private company, we need to think in create revenue also. But we never forget the values. And that is the correct balance. Certification, revenue.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Now, Zina, Trump's executive order is a couple of months ago. It's not that long ago. Now, do you see any short-term effects already? I mean, we're going to see how it's going to work out in the long term, right? But what are the midterm, the short and the midterm effects that you see already of this?
It's been a bit more than 2 months that the Trump administration have been communicating about the D&I, or this whole D&I backlash kind of has started. And I think there's different things that we're seeing. On one side, we're hearing about the backlash of the backlash, and often it comes from private companies, you know, non-US companies, businesses that really just can do what they want to do. And I think Intrepid is quite lucky from that perspective because we're privately owned, we're Australian headquartered, and very similar to yours, we have a lot of different nationalities, and our audience is also very diverse. So we have to really believe that doing the right thing also makes business sense. But I've seen firsthand, as in one of my other hats as a board advisor for an organization, a non-for-profit called Women in Travel, that many US companies with businesses in the UK, for example, had to pull back from their financial efforts to this organization because of headquarter, notice. And I don't want to name them, but there's some very, very large American company. One of them has a female CEO. And I think it's quite shocking when you hear about that. And I think on the flip side to this example I mentioned about if they're from the US or not, I think Ctrip is a great example. Another female CEO Chinese company that is actually doubling down in their effort in D&I. And I see it firsthand. I know Jane quite well, and I've been following some of the amazing stuff they're doing. And I think they're going to be more successful as a result. So, I can't say if it's dead or alive. I think it depends where from. And most likely US kind of larger businesses will go more toward the dead part of it than taking advantage of the backlash and backlash the backlash.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, time flies, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Carlotta, before we finish, what is your outcry to the audience today?
Finally, I think is the power we have inside the companies to pass the message, no? And also is another key for me is the planification, but in all of kind of projects of sustainability. I think we need to planificate when you start a project, we need to think in diversity, For example, when you need to open a new hotel. You need to think in the inclusive of the people of this community. You need to think in the kind of employees that you want. You need to think in all the kind of travelers that can come in your hotel, no? Accessibility. I know now with the vegetarian and vegans menus, LGTBI friendly, the diversity no it's only a small piece, no? You need to think more in 360, no? So all the collectives that involve your service and intend to be there for all of them. It's complex, yes. Okay. But I think with this perspective, it's better to planificate than arrive to the end and come back and restart, no? For resources, for time also. Okay, great, thank you. Now, Edgar, talking about 360, we talked about society being responsible for so many things, enhancing sustainability and also inclusion. As an end, could you share that beautiful example that you gave, how an approach of travel in Mexico had an impact on society?
Yeah, so I can give you an example. of what we do. This is an example. We started with the Mexican government. We do the national strategy for Mexico, for Spain, for Greece. And now we started with Belgium. So we're doing their national strategy. We did a test with a certain region in Mexico, which was Los Cabos, which I suppose most of you know. And they wanted to attract the LGBTQ plus traveler. We said we will go under the certification because we thought we could really generate an impact on the destination. As you know, in Mexico, till not so long ago, we could ask almost everything with who you sleep with and so on. It's not like in Europe. So we had the statistics. So 6% of the population of the traveler arriving to Los Cabos, when they started with us to collaborate with us in 2020, when the company was born, we closed for 2 years for the pandemic, was 6% of the population. Nowadays, we have 21% of the travelers arriving to Los Cabos being from the LGBTQ plus community. It's important to say because they didn't change anything. They just did formation, they learned how the community was working, they asked us to advise them what to do with the locals. We impacted on the locals. We generated a pride event together with them and all the locals living in Los Cabos. And we gave a world example, I think, of attracting the LGBTQ plus traveler without giving the option of a gay-only hotel or a gay-only activity, which is what most of you, I'm sure, you have in your mind. But no, world is changing. Millennials and Generation Z, don't forget, 80% supports companies that are openly saying you are welcome here, but they don't have to be exclusive anymore. So most of the people want to work, want to travel with all of you. Or most of you, everywhere around the world. They don't want to be tagged in one place, but they want to be surrounded by great people, like most of the room, I'm sure you guys are.
Okay, thank you. Zina, before I say my final words, one insight from your side. Is it just a matter of waiting until the next generation will be in command? Is Trump right? Do we have to shut up about this? Do we just have to wait?
I mean, I hope not. For us, we're definitely taking advantage of people not doing anything as a business. On one side, it's great because we're growing much faster, we're more profitable, we attract better talents, which kind of goes hand in hand. I cannot tell you how many times I had some amazing people interviewing for a job because we were doing what we were doing in the diversity space. How many times? I remember going out from the pandemic and hiring for a marketing director, and the lady was coming from EasyJet, and I never thought I'll have the marketing director of EasyJet wanting to work for Intrepid at the time where Intrepid was quite unknown in the UK market. But that was just one example. I can tell you there were so many more that came. So on one side, yes, we're very lucky. If no one does anything, you know, we're just going to take the space, at least in our market. But that would be a bit, you know, sad to say that. I think that the realization that diversity makes business sense is not just the right thing to do. It does make business sense. Just educate yourself and you will find out is what needs to happen, because it will also make the world better. And it actually is very much linked to sustainability as well. It's one of the core pillars of sustainability, so it's important that businesses realize the opportunity of D&I.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tourism and diversity, why is it so connected? In the Renaissance, the rich North and Western European families sent their young men on a grand tour through Italy and the cultural capitals of Europe. That lasted for a year sometimes. It was not comfortable, they had to travel, but they went there to meet artists, to speak to local people, to eat different food, to see other landscapes and to breathe different air. These people were called the tourists. They were the first tourists ever. So tourism and diversity are connected in its DNA. Let's keep it that way. Okay? Good. Thank you. Guys?
Thank you so much, Eric.